Welcome all of you, the viewers of Poland Daily Culture. My name is Maria Kądzielska-Koper and we are talking about the war in Ukraine and freshly printed book, The War of Our Times. With me in the studio is Michał Wawerczuk, one of the co-authors of this book and the author of the chapter about two Natalias. Michał, tell us more about the story.
So that's a story about two girls living on both sides of the border. One is in Warsaw, second is in Khmelnytsky, the city in Ukraine. One is a really small person physically, but really big person in heart. Second has a big heart open for her, and she's accepting her because of the war. One needs to run out of her country, of her hometown.
But you said it this way, just to explain it more in details, the fact that Natalia Rytych is one of the volunteers in the shelter.
In the shelter. One of the first volunteers in the shelter.
Exactly. So she was helping the Ukrainians in the shelter, and at the moment when the Ukrainian Natalia ended up in the shelter, she decided, because of also her medical situation, to take her over to her house, to her flat, and give her the spare room in her own apartment. And that's the moment when their friendship started, and eventually the Ukrainian Natalia became the part of the family. And she already full-time live in Natalia's apartment and flat and became the part of her family and will stay with her. This decision further, until she will be able to live by herself. Or, so far, they are just living together.
Yes, and that's a beautiful example of connection of hearts, I suppose we can say that, about how Polish people individually start helping, not as a collective, because we've done beautiful work we did beautiful work since the war started, but individually we opened our hearts, our families, our homes, and that's a beautiful example of that. And on the top of that, we get this amazing huge amount of medical supplies shipping to Ukraine, because everybody's talking about the military equipment or ammunition shipments of charity, whatever is going to Ukraine, but not many people talk about the medical supplies that we're providing to Ukraine and medical help we actually provided here in Poland. And
for the Ukrainian patients.
For the Ukrainian patient, even terminally ill, for many kids with cancer, for many terminally ill patients that would be already dead, not because of the war itself, not directly, but because Ukraine lacks of medical supplies, doctors, nurses, and all that stuff that around the health system and healthcare system. You need to realize that many people in Poland, we like to complain about our healthcare system, and I suppose fully support you guys, but you need to understand that in Ukraine, since the war started in 2014, it shifted a lot from the post-communist healthcare system into the war kind of healthcare system, and it's terrible right there. So we actually provided the biggest amount of the medical supplies and medical work and medical help towards the patients in any other countries.
Also taken over to Poland.
Not only refugees, but also patients medically terminally ill.
Yeah. Exactly. Two Polish hospitals, even though our healthcare system is not the strongest one, but it in this need of help to those. And this is the same example with Natalia, because she was actually properly treated and checked just already in Poland. This is her story is extremely brought her on many levels, because what I also know about the fact that she said she can properly sleep, and she could properly fall asleep already in Poland, because before she was all the time sort of afraid of very deeply fall asleep. We have to say that because of her situation and the fact that she was born already ill and small, if, for example, her grandparents wanted to give her away, and this was the moment when her mother said no, but they wanted to give her away for some sort of exhibition. So this is this level of thinking.
Different mentality from the I will say
Far
that
East.
already Eastern post-communist or former communist Soviet era. Yeah.
Exactly, and now she's back, paradoxically found sort of peace and home and a new family through the war, through those atrocities. So, and her life changed, and this is the beauty of it. So we can say that also we have this wonderful quotation from Professor Agnieszka Nagal on the cover of our book, saying the fact that where the politics and the love start. And this what happens in individual reactions that even from such a huge pure evil, which is the war, people with open hearts can melt it to some happiness and some goodness, and that's what happened for the shelter. Do you agree?
That was the most inspiring, one of the most inspiring stories I've actually heard in the shelter at Łazienkowksa 14. Because
You will tell it in the next episode.
No, let me tell it right now.
Right now we have to wrap up, but of course we leave you with substance. And please, the viewers of Poland Daily, keep watching our show, and thank you for watching this episode. And read the book.